So artificial intelligence, or AI as we all know it now, will therefore have to play a transformative role in inventing ways on how public services are delivered. Now, while it comes with its own set of challenges, and for government in particular, we know of cyber attacks, cyber criminals, there's much hope in the work that has been done by our state security agency in terms of mitigating those risks, but also going through now the legislative process of bringing the cyber crimes bill to Parliament. So our next speaker is going to enlighten us on the topic of how we can work smarter and not harder through the power of AI. Edwin Mashau is a highly skilled ICT leadership and relational specialist. He possesses extensive experience in managing provincial CETA environments where he provides ICT solutions to both provincial and local clients. For over 15 years, Edward has been actively involved in the provincial and local consulting space. With his diverse experience in the ICT industry, he excels at supporting businesses by offering solutions that significantly enhance frontline service delivery. So can we please give a warm welcome to Edwin as he delivers his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I remember last time you gave me 45 minutes, I only did 7. So I'm not so sure whether today, can I agree with my audience? Do you want me to do 45? Or do you want me to do 5? Okay, let's use artificial intelligence to. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The harnessing the benefits of AI becomes a serious topic for us today. Those of you, those of our age, which I'm not going to reveal, but if the characteristics of my age fits yours, you must just know that we are on the same boat. When cell phones started, it used to be very strange to be talking in the dusty, to be walking around the dusty streets, talking, and you seemed like you're talking alone. But now it's a norm. So most of these concepts are coming slow, but they are here to stay. Today we're talking about artificial intelligence, and there used to be an uncle of mine who would always say, Edwin, artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity. And I used to understand it differently then, but now my understanding has broadened a little bit on that to say, even if you have artificial intelligence, if you are dumb, you'll remain dumb. So artificial intelligence is really dumbing us, and we are those of my age, we are in big trouble. And for us to be assisted, we need to start by agreeing that we need it. And because the best way of getting assistance is to agree that we need assistance. I mean, I'm looking at practitioners, and some of you here, if we go back to your offices, we might even find that you've got piles and piles of papers that needs either waiting for approval or something. And in this day and age, we should be laughing at ourselves that we are still using papers like that. Even if you don't have investments, but there are, I can just give you one example. There are a lot of institutions, maybe yours also, and as accountants sitting in the room, you'll realize that you are paying a lot of subscriptions to Microsoft. And there's lots and lots of platforms, even on that package, that you can use to relieve your stress and to upgrade a bit of utilization of AI in your environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a lot of topics, a number of items on there, but I'm going to try and stick to my high standards of 7 minutes out of 45. It is basically high. Okay. And I'm not going to go into the work smart scenarios that we have there. I'm just going to pass that and jump straight into artificial intelligence. And you're saying automation technology, such a workflow automation. And Cloud, I realize that I'm not getting the full view of what is on there. Maybe you can assist me. Somebody will ask us, what is artificial intelligence? There's this thing of machine utilization, but I always come with the simple one, more like artificial intelligence for dummies. Okay, and that's not relating to any profile of the audience. Ne? It's just a simple way of saying, let's put it in a more understandable way. And artificial intelligence, in a simple way, is a computer system that can think, learn, and act like a human being. I suppose that could be understood. That is understandable. If we think of AI like a smart, very fast and very accurate assistant, then that can mean that you understand and respond to language like Google, recognize and classify images like Facebook photo tagging, and make decisions based on data like personalized product recommendations, and learn from experience like self-driving cars. I'm sure that South Africans would still have a challenge a bit. Those of us from rural areas, ne, madam? Those of us from Amakaya, Mahayenkwa, these self-driving cars have not reached there. Ne? You will apologize because they are not theirs yet. But can you imagine me going to that rural municipality and presenting on self-driving cars? And they still use manual authorizations. You know, they look at me and say, hey, this one, maybe it's too far. So artificial intelligence is a term that John McCarthy used in 1956. And it's just developing and getting traction as we move. We talk of AI in language processing. That is the understanding, the process of converting a spoken language to its written form and translating the language to another without any semantic errors. And then as we move into healthcare, miracles are happening there, because now we are using artificial intelligence to measure our blood pressure with our phones, with our smart watches, and we get results to start understanding what really we need to do. I don't want to see when it starts getting into some of the areas of our private lives. I once attended a conference where they presented as AI-bagged toilet, and where it will be, the toilet will also be results from when you assist yourself in the toilet will be saying, but you are due for your checkup. You are what you've just deposited to us doesn't really suit your profile. And ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence is going to beat the hell out of us. And it's not a joke. So we have AI in healthcare. We have smart home technologies. and AI in manufacturing production. I don't want to go into AI in education, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are doing assignments, those of you doing assignments, and you just go into AI, and AI is now also on your WhatsApp. Yeah, if you are like me, you'd say, just going to say, give it a topic, can you arrange a presentation for me? And I'm presenting it before you. So for those who are doing, for most of us who are doing what we would traditionally call night school, ne? And a night school is that school for those people who didn't school during their time, and who had to school in the night after work. Yeah? That is night school. For the year 2001, you probably don't understand what night school is. It's a school that is during the night. And it means that you are doing it part-time. And our parents used to do matric part-time, and it used to be a challenge. So in AI in security surveillance, in education, ladies and gentlemen, it's a big challenge, because just go to institutions and understand what we used to call them what? Our bundle of joy, né? But I don't know, when they go to the universities, they are no longer bundle of joys, there's something else. And artificial intelligence can describe them very well. And that description fits your teenager. And my daughter is also at the university. She tells me that, hey, this thing. Anyway, I pay subscription for some search engines. Ne? The best ones, you're getting them at about 400 Rand per month. And I was looking for it. Just for searching something, you're paying 400 Rand per month. But it's become very critical. I'm sure you'll understand that it's a nightmare for lecturers. Fortunately, they've also developed a functionality where they could detect that you actually got assistance in getting this type of marks or writing this nice assignment. But students being students, they get a platform that will make sure that the platform that the lecturers have don't recognize that they use the platform to get to where they are. Am I saying something that, if this is a safe space, ladies and gentlemen? Am I saying something that you understand? The assignment is due tomorrow, and you are at a CIGFARO conference. Ladies and gentlemen, you are at a CIGFARO conference, and you are very busy and you are enjoying Durban, but the assignment is still due tomorrow. You've got to find a way. Artificial intelligence can do that and even summarize it in a way that you want. Okay? But I'm not gonna, it's not for me to talk about the morality part of it, ladies and gentlemen. I think CIGFARO might not call me back. You sure? No. So, artificial intelligence in education will remain a nightmare. We just need thank you. In terms of artificial intelligence, I need to eat something nice. So, a learning management system is a platform that provides teachers or facilitators of learning to design, manage, organize, and it becomes a problem. Can you imagine if we are not using this properly, we will have a society that doesn't know anything. Okay? It's also in gaming, and I think when it comes to gaming, those friends of mine in the audience who have been doing cryptocurrencies, are you here? Yes, and those of us who have lost a bit, no, you are here. Thanks for your honesty. It's programmed. So, using a technique known as brute force technology, machines can scan thousands of environments. Microsoft Xbox employs artificial intelligence to detect body motion and reply to gamers in a short space of time. So what are the benefits in terms of artificial intelligence? In operations, AI systems can work continuously without fatigue, and that will increase productivity. And it reduces errors that people will normally commit. And speed and accuracy, AI can can process vast amounts of data quickly and make decisions faster than human beings. Can you imagine, colleagues, can you imagine if we had AI politicians? Het ding is gaan lekker wees. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. When you are using artificial intelligence, you just imagine, Uri, because in AI, you can replace anything. So just imagine if you can replace your boss. I'm lucky my boss is not here. And we always talk about how we can replace each other. And you can replace your MM, your councillors, not to mention your mayor. Unfortunately, AI doesn't have all this protocol observed. With AI, we just speak. I mean, if you press click, it doesn't have protocol observed. You just straight to the point, my sister. Straight to the point. So you can't. There's no manga business. I wish we could use. I mean, nobody's listening. Eh? I wish we could use AI in supply chain. Or you don't like what I'm saying. Eh? And all those suppliers from KDAS who qualify because they can only be qualified, it's going to be a challenge. Yeah. So I'm not saying anything, colleagues. I'm not saying anything. We're saying it's cost effective, and in terms of scalability, AI solutions can be scaled easily to handle larger volumes of work without proportionality. We can improve safety and security. AI can perform dangerous tasks such as bomb defusing or disaster response, and reducing risks to human workers. You probably might have heard what has happened. I am hoping, colleagues, some of the things, and I need to put a disclaimer. Eh? You've heard not so long there were some bombings using the walkie-talkies. I'm sure you heard that. Don't you think artificial intelligence is involved? I'm just giving you a thought. I know we've read about it, but I don't want to say much about it. Fraud detection. AI enhances security by detecting fraud activities and fake news. early disease detection, AI helps in early detection of disease like cancer, heart attack, diabetes, etc. Precision in medical emergencies, AI ensures precise handling of medical situations, reducing response times, and also enhanced customer experience. It can enhance customer experience, ladies and gentlemen, even at a municipal level. I'm sure AI can do that. We just need to find a better way of using that. Also, in terms of innovation, more especially your research and development, and then automation of repetitive tasks. When I was doing a bit of a research, it was talking about you could repetitive task for those of you who are executives. Apparently, it can replace your PA. You don't seem to disagree with me. So, but I'm gonna have to wait and see the day that it does, ne? And it could help us, some of us who normally get in trouble with our PAs. AI is our thing. Because AI will not give you all those emotions, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't have a down day, a day that is down, like it's cloudy or it's sunny. Can you imagine those employees who are angry on a Monday and very happy on a Friday? Not with our AI. So agricultural improvement, I think this is one area where AI could play a major role. Traffic management. Those of us who drive a bit faster than others, we use those some of those platforms. Those of you here in the audience who are using Waze, those of us in the audience who are using Waze, why are you not using Google? Is it because Waze can show you something that works, especially those guys who are wearing caps, ne? Yeah. That's AI for you. So also in internet management, AI improves search engine capabilities, making information retrieval more efficient. Also, there's a bit of challenges that we all try that I cannot talk without also showing them to you. Please, you are most welcome if you have got some of these AI tools. You can just say tool, please prepare a presentation for me. It will give you evidence. So I had to write it in a very ugly way so that you can see it's not done by artificial intelligence. In education familiarization, teachers need to become proficient with AI-enabled tools and systems. Accuracy, incorrect outputs from AI systems can mislead students and educators. I don't know which one is much worse than the other. Misled students or misled educators. Bias and fairness. AI systems may perpetuate biases affecting the fairness of educational outcomes. We had a health day at work, and all the people were classified as, what is that thing where a person is too fat? As either too fat or obese. As IT practitioners, we then said, but no, man, let's look at something. What is wrong here? Then we realized that some of these machines were manufactured either from China or from India. And when we look at it, we are saying maybe the Chinese are not as necessarily as built as us. Hence, everyone is obese in terms of the measurement. But don't worry about that explanation. It was from the eating club in the office. So every lunch is like a massive, big bright day. So every lunch is like that. And coming from where you are, we come from, you could have quotas on some of the days, these big ones, those big quotas. I'm talking about people who understand CAS, Those who don't understand CAS, it's not a problem, but there's this big quota, like, with the big Vian. Do you know that CAS quota? With Archer. My friend, AI is not gonna see flames here. Data privacy, protecting student data from breaches and misuse. Using robots instead of teachers can lead to dangerous situations and affect the quality of education. AI cannot provide personalized attention that human teachers offer to individual students. Monitoring progress, robots may struggle to closely monitor individual students. And in terms of medical field, doctors must learn to use all AI equipment effectively, and errors can have life-threatening consequences. I don't have to emphasize this, ladies and gentlemen. Safety errors in AI systems can have life-threatening consequences. Ensuring AI systems do not compromise patient privacy and cause treatment process inexpensive and lengthy due to high mortality rates. The bias part, ladies and gentlemen, AI algorithms trained on biased data can lead to incorrect diagnosis. Depending on where some of the platforms are developed, I sat in one presentation where some of those detections couldn't detect black people, and when it can only detect white people. Now, I'm not saying anything, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying this bias matters. It's a serious matter, because once it's programmed like that, it's not gonna. You are not going to. Whether you want. You are interested in different results, it will only give you the results that it can only provide. That's a challenge, depending on where it was developed. And if it was developed by people who were verkramd or something, you are in big trouble. Human supervision. AI health still requires human oversight to ensure accuracy and safety. There's a privacy concerns, tightening privacy regulations, and the need for novel ways to address AI privacy. Internal and external flaws. Current AI systems have flaws that prevent their full utilization. So I think there's a number of them. And in finance, we are saying handling errors. Errors in AI can cause significant financial losses. And in political communication, ladies and gentlemen, need I say more? Just watch the American drama, American Decides. You'll understand what I'm saying. How history is catching up with people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever did something in the past, AI might just help your opponents to find these things about you. I don't have to mention what the impact could be. In terms of politics, ladies and gentlemen, you might have people who are using more AI, being the one who are more commonly understood than all of us. I used to have a challenge with my kids when we go to try and vote, because I traditionally would like to influence them to vote in a particular way, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not telling you about my voting patterns here, but I would always saw they would go for these politicians who are using more AI, who are more on the news, on social media. But then I start saying, no. But you remember your grandfather, what he said? These are the type of people who used to kick him. So, but Daddy, was he talking about them? He said, yes. So, yeah, there could be a lot of bias, because AI would teach our kids that history doesn't matter, when the nation that does not understand its history is doomed to repeat it. Facial recognition, I suppose at the moment we don't have a lot of ladies and gentlemen, have I passed my 7 minutes? Only just. For facial recognition to be used correctly, I think there need to be rules and regulations around it, because I think Gauteng has been talking a lot about installing cameras at every street corner. And this is where, can you imagine, now it will be known where we've been and what, and by default, it will be known what we've been doing. I don't want to see those of you who are married to partners who will follow you wherever. I mean, if they are using tracker to track where you are, can you imagine when they have access to cameras with your facial recognition and they're sitting at home, and there's going to be some social upheaval. Can you imagine your madam? Yeah, those who are in that type of relationship, ne? And they are sitting at home, and you said you were coming to Durban, ladies and gentlemen, and you're probably not in Durban, and facial recognition is picking you up in Eastern Cape. Ladies and gentlemen, AI is going to cause a lot of problems for you. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to have a lot to be a bit honest, because AI is going to keep us in check. Oh, can you imagine? I wish I had that AI facial recognition where I can point where you were last night, ladies and gentlemen. Not to mention, have you seen on TikTok where they say, just check where your husband is? And immediately when you look at that, it also shows the companions. And this AI, ladies and gentlemen, is going to cause a lot of problems on the family front. Social media and communication bias and representation, ensuring AI systems provide balanced coverage and representation for all users. and ethical use, addressing ethical concerns in the use of AI, social media, and communication. And there are limitations of AI systems. There's trust issues. AI-based search systems and engines may not always provide optimal solutions. And complexity of solutions can be difficult to understand due to their reliance on mathematical programming. Resource-intensive AI models may need to rerun multiple times to assess solutions. General risks, ladies and gentlemen, misuse and abuse. AI can be used for mass-scale destruction if it falls into wrong hands. And I mean wrong hands, ladies and gentlemen. And some of these wrong hands might just be too close for comfort. Dependence on technology, over-reliance on AI can make people lazy and overly dependent on technology. And a lot of people could be replaced by some of the AI platforms. Laziness, increased AI automation may lead to some of this English from AI, ladies and gentlemen, a vendor boy might not really understand. Sedentary lifestyle, especially among the younger generation. You understand what your kids are into. Remember, these are our kids. When we go to funerals over the weekend, they would really like to use AI than put on the overalls. This is our generation. General risk, black box nature. All systems can often function as black boxes, mapping in input and output without understanding the underlying reasons. Probabilistic nature. AI systems, especially those using genetic algorithms and anti-colony optimization, may not always provide results with certainty. Impact on livelihood. AI can affect human jobs and livelihoods, leading to unemployment, unreliable outputs, lack of creativity, resource-intensive, and social and ethical concerns. There are so many challenges that we've put in there, ladies and gentlemen, like we tried to be AI phobia so that you could have an appreciation of what we are trying to bring. But we are also saying there are ways that you could use to really incorporate this in your institutions. We are saying there are benefits of AI in South African municipalities: data-driven decision-making, predictive maintenance. Can you imagine when you've got your infrastructure system? It's integrated in such a way that people will know when either it's a road or it's a building, when it needs that maintenance. And I think we have lots of benefits that we could derive from there. And some of them, Mr. President, from working from CITA side, we are very worried because majority of some of these platforms, we are already paying for them. In most cases, those who are using those subscriptions, like Microsoft that I mentioned earlier, they don't use more than 30% of what they're paying for. 30%, ladies and gentlemen. And how much are they? I mean, the metros, I don't know. Metros are even paying more. Government departments are paying in the excess. Some are paying in the excess of 10 million for their subscription. I know that bigger institutions are paying more for these subscriptions, but utilization, you are literally buying a Rolls Royce but you are staying in a village like in Jerere, where I come from, where they are still. Or Kabunge, but you're buying a Rolls Royce. You can't drive it home all the time because the roads are not normally that good. But if we could just find a way of using more of what we have, some of these things that we want to harness the utilization of AI is already in our fingertips. It's just that when we continue to employ our cousins and our SBARAs as IT managers and IT officers, we'll continue to get what we've always got. Applications of AIs in South African municipalities in terms of revenue management, I don't have to say much about this because I think it has been well expanded in this conference. Infrastructure management and public safety, where we could see the trends and they are analyzed at a rapid speed to give us the understanding of what is happening. I don't know as to whether you managed to use, okay. I don't know as to whether you managed to use AI to look at the march on Monday, because you will get a very good idea of what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, the benefits are there. There are case studies. It is rumored that City of Cape Town is using a bit of that. It is also rumored that City of Johannesburg, there's some AI that they are using in the eThekwini municipality. I think this summarizes what I've been trying to say. There are challenges, but you need to bring in all your key stakeholders, and you need to have a sort of a implementation roadmap, and above all, try and use what you have, because it's very critical for you to have that. Ladies and gentlemen, you can choose to remain what you are, or you can drown in the world of artificial intelligence. Whatever you do depends on you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you so much, Edwin. I think, as we can see from Edwin's presentation, AI presents big opportunities for us to enhance service delivery, but it also comes with a lot of challenges that we have to be mindful for. So we go into this, but not blindly. If I can please ask if we could get a mic up on stage for Edwin. Thank you. So we're going to take some questions from the floor. So as you get ready, can I just in the meantime ask all the delegates sitting right at the top, in the back, in the corner, at the doors, if you can please make your way forward and come down. Thank you. Okay, so if there's any questions for Edwin, we have at least about 10 or 12 minutes before we conclude the session. So I'm going to take questions 2 at a time. Do we have anybody with questions for Edwin? No hands? Everyone's happy with AI? Oh, perfect. We have a hand in the front. Can we please get a mic to the gentleman in the front here? Any other hands? Okay, and we have one at the back. So can we please, okay. So one in the front, 2 at the back, and then back to the front again for the third one. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. We welcome the presentation. Yeah, I just want to know, out of your observation, what will be the implication in terms of unemployment when you have lots of companies that will adopt this AI? Will we see more people being unemployed, being replaced by these systems? Thank you.
Okay, can we take the second question, please? And then the third question before Edwin responds.
Good morning, Edwin. That was very interesting. I think what worried me a bit is you highlighted quite a few benefits, but then you've carried on quite a lot of slides about the pitfalls that we can expect with AI, which is a concern, but we all know that AI is still dependent on human interaction, to get it going. There were a few very interesting observations there where you referred to actually predictive maintenance plans for municipalities for infrastructure. I was very interested in that because that is definitely an area where municipalities, where there's a massive need as such. If there are existing software that is in place in AI and it can be shared from CETA down, that will be terrific. And then there is the capacity in AI that I think that we haven't really tapped into the planning of the expansion. If we look at spatial development in municipalities, etc., to use virtual reality to create scenarios, future scenarios, for example, floods and that sort of thing, which is obviously becoming more prevalent in our society, to actually predict and make sure that we get our designs correct from the word go. That would also be tremendous. I'm not sure how far CITA is involved in the development of software and actually the interaction with local government in that regard. And then just the last comment, perhaps, we've identified on various platforms already that there's quite a need at a municipal level to have geographic information systems available and interrelated to the municipal management system, specifically the asset management systems, as well as the cadastral information. In other words, the as-built plans and all of that. So what the situation at most municipalities is that they can't afford the hardware, the servers, to actually have all that information available, at the municipality. And then a lot of the smaller municipalities, the more rural municipalities, and there are almost 200 of them in the country, they sometimes have problems with connectivity. So even cloud computing is not necessarily always the answer there. Is there perhaps a scope for CITA to become involved in, say, on a district level, the setting up of servers that can be utilized by municipalities as a shared resource within each district, perhaps? It's just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, can we take our last question? If you can please get the mic up there to the gentleman with the blue shirt. Up there? Sorry? Just behind the camera.
Oh. Thank you. There is a mic.
Oh.
Good morning to you all. Very interesting discussion on artificial intelligence. One of our biggest challenges is that when we apply it to, let's take maintenance, and you mentioned that one, and how that would actually look like. Now, if you're maintaining a fleet of vehicles, AI is your best ally in that, because there's certain parameters that you can set into the system, and as a vehicle do a certain amount of kilometers, or if certain things goes wrong with the vehicle can dial in. There was a company called Heenan Drives that made some pumps that had sensors in it that would actually link up with your with a 10-by-T network that could actually dial in and to say, but this pump needs service. When you come to other aspects where it cannot be, and so it cannot be a one-size-fits-all, specifically when it comes to road maintenance. You have a PMS system where an enormous amount of human calibration is needed to be able to identify certain things. Now, when people look at a pothole, they look at a pothole. But you need to understand what is the reason why this pothole is forming. And so that's all information that cannot sit in AI, but AI can then become an enabler rather than a tool or to drive this. A classic example was a couple of guys tried to use a camera fitted to a taxi, and as the taxi drives, it would actually then identify potholes and then come up with a condition assessment of the road. Now, that is not how it works, because in this case, the camera picked up wet spots on the road, or if there was a cardboard box lying on the road, it identified that as a pothole, which it wasn't. And so it becomes very difficult to go back and calibrate all the machine learning, and that's part of the challenge. If you can maybe just give some your views on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Some great questions for you, Edwin.
Oh, is it my time? I think for the first question about job losses, and I quickly went into AI. And my question into AI was, can the adoption of AI cause job losses? And AI says, yes. The adoption of AI can potentially cause job losses in certain industries. But then it says, however, it is important to note that AI will also create new jobs and enhance existing jobs, and it drive innovation. I always believe that the type of industries that we are having at the moment, as you unavoidably adopt some of the automation driven by AI, you are not going to avoid some job losses. But on the positive side, there are some interesting jobs coming through. So retraining, reskilling, and a whole lot of works will need to come into effect so that the people who have been doing jobs that have been taken up by AI can still be accommodated. We are an accommodating South Africa. We are an accommodating country. We don't want people to just lose their jobs just like that, because we know that if Mashau ever liso bana le batho ba 10 ba ba fida there. Oh, sorry, I was saying.
I need my AI.
Being from a rural areas, when you are working like this, you are a beacon of a rural area, and you've got cousins, cousin, and that you are looking after, and you are taking to school. So we just need to re-engineer and reconfigure our jobs and how our labor market looks like. There's a question of sharing of best practices in terms of SITA. Excuse me. You will appreciate the fact that SITA works with municipality SMA in terms of legislation. But where we have a chance, we are sharing with some of the municipalities in terms of some of these things that we are doing. Like I think when we were in one of the CIGFARO conferences, I think it was in a provincial one, where we shared what we are doing, the government indigent register that SITA has developed, and a whole lot of other digitally based platforms that we have that could be shared. Unfortunately, we work on you invite us into your environment, then we are able to work with you. At the moment, we are reaching out to, like now we are reaching out to CIGFARO. We are also reaching out to SALGA, so that we are able to share some of those best practices that we could have, and these discussions can be taken forward. My boss will be very happy.
Something out of the conference.
Yes, something all the way from Durban. I know that we say whatever happens in Durban remains in Durban, but this one must be taken over.
And then
so we can always talk about it if there are other suggestions out of this, ladies and gentlemen. The last comment from a gentleman up the road. I think he was talking about the issues around predictive maintenance. I couldn't catch the question that well. I don't know whether
it was around using AI to predict where we would require services, if I'm correct.
Yes, I was busy consulting AI on the answers.
One of the challenges of AI.
This is the downside of AI. You will always have a challenge. Yeah, because if you can't listen, if you're not a good listener, you will not become a good listener when you.
Do you want to repeat your question before we conclude, or are you okay? Oh, can we please hand the mic? Thank you.
I've configured AI as well, and it's called a book, and I wrote it down here. AI in infrastructure is a good tool, and many times we tend to use it as the system itself, yet it's an enabler. Within municipalities, we use something called the pavement management system that helps you with predictive maintenance on road infrastructure and bridge infrastructure. When it comes to fleet management or maintaining a fleet of vehicles, or it's much easier because you have certain things on the vehicle that can actually give you prediction. It will tell you that the vehicle has driven 10,000 kilometers and now it needs to be serviced. And so that is easy. Some of the projects that has been running within cities, but not by cities, but rather pressure groups, is identifying potholes on roads using cameras and AI. And one of the biggest challenges is that when a pothole is formed, there are certain things that actually links to why that pothole has formed. It could be base failure, it could be water ingress, it could be abuse, it could be all sorts of things which AI does not have that ability to identify that quickly. And so I was just soliciting your comment on a more pragmatic side of the use of AI within municipalities and even within state organizations like the national road authorities or provincial road authorities. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think what we are also saying, that's why I spend a bit of time looking on the downside also, because this is not a silver bullet, ladies and gentlemen. You can be seriously misled if that's all you depend on. There needs to be we need to build our own checks and balances in terms of using AI and all the tools that we are having. If we don't do that, we run a risk of doing something very horrible. And it's in that context that different institutions that are concerned with some of these matters might want to come together and assist government, because I think we're sitting here and we would want to assist our government to be the best government that anyone could ever wish for. And if we can, let's do that, because that's the only way we could have some of these engines that are being used to be strengthened. And let's not just be our typical South Africans. Let's start making things happen. Let's start working on some of these things and influencing some of these engines so that they don't just represent something that we don't know. I gave you an example of some of the platforms that are used in overseas, and when they come to the South African population, it becomes a big problem. Yeah. It could be that's a challenge, but what I'm challenging all of us is that let's find a way of influencing these things. Let's put in Ubuntu into some of these things. Let's use some of the traditional knowledge that we have. At the end of the day, it's only a bastard who cannot point the house of the father. We have had our parents who were even though they were not using artificial intelligence, but there are some good lessons that we learn out of that we could add into the Western influenced AI that could suit us much better. Thank you.